Hello there, all you Diablo 4 gamers. Welcome back to another Diablo 4 video. Before we get started, make sure you like the video if you'd like it. I try to put out helpful stuff, tips, tricks, whatever, and just make content generally for games, focusing mostly on ARPGs like a Lost Ark and Diablo 4. So without further ado, let's get on to this. I do know my first LASH video was a bit rushed and spooked. I was a bit spooked, rather, because it was my first sort of guide video for Diablo 4, but now I've made a, in my opinion, much better one, so hopefully this will help you guys out a bit more. What we're going to be talking about is what I would consider one of the best early endgame swaps for sorcerer, which is going to be the LASH build. You'll see here I have some b-roll footage playing in the background of a tier 16 nightmare dungeon, just a random one that I played through. It's the highest tier that I had at the time. I think they're level 69 monsters or 71, something like that. But I've been doing these dungeons for plenty of levels. It doesn't really make a difference. The build crushes it. So here's the build planner that I'm going to be using for the LASH build. First of all, the link will also be in the description of this video if you guys are interested in just looking at it like that, so you don't have to pause the video. But we're going to want to max out LASH, and then we're going to take enhanced LASH, glinting LASH. The idea behind this is LASH is our main attack. It's a basic, costs no mana, and basically, if it crits, it hits again, and hitting a stunned enemy reduces your cooldowns. So you can kind of see this build revolves around stuns, crowd controls, cooldown reduction. Moving on down here to, I believe it is, what is this? Conjuration? I don't remember what it's called. Core skills, excuse me. The core skills, you want to take Charge Bolt level 1 so we can pick the modifiers onto Charge Bolt. We don't actually put Charge Bolt on our bar. We're going to want to take Enhanced Charge Bolts, and we're going to want to take Destructive Charge Bolts. Basically, just a really good skill. Does a lot of damage, and gives us a little bit more survivability. What more do you need? We head down here to the defensive skills. We're going to want to put a point into Frost Nova. Frost Nova is both CC and our vulnerable, so we're going to take Enhanced Frost Nova, mostly because we have to, but killing enemies that are frozen will reduce the cooldown, pretty good. And then we take Mystical Frost Nova, which makes the vulnerable effect apply to it. Then we go over here to Ice Armor, take a point into Ice Armor, Enhanced Ice Armor, and then Shimmering Ice Armor. Just a nice defensive barrier skill. Also going to put a point into Teleport, because Teleport, obviously. We're going to want Enhanced Teleport and Shimmering Teleport. That way, when we hit enemies with Teleport, reduces the cooldown, and gives us DR when we do Teleport. We're going to want to put... Well, I'm going to say I put a point into Elemental Attunement. You don't have to. It's just a good 1-point filler. It just lets critical strikes have a % chance to reset the cooldown of one of your defensive skills every 10 seconds. I mean, it's a build based around resetting cooldowns and crits, so I figure why not? It's 1 point. I think it's worth it. We're going to want to put 3 points into Glass Cannon, obviously, because more damage is what we are looking for, even if it does make us a little bit less tanky. We're going to go down here to Conjuration skills, and we are going to put a point into Lightning Spear. Again, we don't put Lightning Spear on our bar. We're just doing this to pick the nodes. So we're going to take Enhanced Lightning Spear, and then we're going to take Invoked Lightning Spear. That way, whenever Lightning Spear crits, it stuns enemies, which is, again, part of the build. We're going to want to take 3 points into Precision Magic. It gives us Lucky Hit Chance, which is also something we really want. We're going to want to take 1 point into Align the Elements, and then we're going to want to take 3 points into Protection. Now you're kind of starting to see how the build is meshing together. Using a cooldown grants 30% of your max life as a barrier for 2 seconds. So basically, we cycle through our abilities. You don't just spam them all at once. You cycle through them, and constantly have big barriers, constantly shooting out lightning spears, you're constantly stunning. It's very synergistic and satisfying. Let's take a look here. So, we're going to want to put 1 point into Ball Lightning. We're going to want to take Enhanced Ball Lightning, and then Wizard's Ball Lightning. Basically, Ball Lightning is one of our main damage dealers. We don't put this on our bar, but it comes from Unstable Currents, and we spawn them with LASH. You'll see what I mean in a little bit. Let's let's go down here to ultimate skills, finally. We're going to take a point into unstable currents. This is one of the best abilities that our LASH build has. Basically, whenever you pop it, every time you LASH, you're casting a random shock skill, and it also gives you attack speed with Prime Unstable Current node, which we take, and then Supreme Unstable Currents. It just makes crackling energy constantly pulse instead of ticking down. Has a 70-second cooldown, but we can reduce the cooldowns, obviously, as you've seen earlier, every time we stun. And then down here at key passives, we take Overflowing Energy. Just makes our crackling energy a little bit better, and it gives us, you can kind of see here, each time crackling energy hits an enemy, shock skill cooldowns are reduced by 0.1 second, increased to 0.25 against elites. Very, very good. Now you'll notice here, we're level 41. We have 18 points remaining. So this is what I would consider the core build for sort of being able to swap to LASH and actually get some good mileage out of it. But for the next points that you're going to want to fill out, you're going to want to go up here to, I believe this is Mastery. It is Mastery, yes. Put a point in a Static Discharge, and then 3 points into Shocking Impact. Just some more damage and crackling energy spawn. Put 1 point into Icy Veil, just as like a point dump. Just gives you 5% increased duration on Veil. Oh, I almost forgot. You want to max out Ball Lightning first. This should be your first point dump, because we want our Ball Lightning to do as much damage as possible. And then to fill out the last of the skill points, I mean, you can really do whatever you want. Let's take a look here. What did I do for my points? Trying to figure out what I did. Actually, I think this might just be my build. I am missing some skill points. Either way, we'll leave it off here. I'm going to give my build a once over just to make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh no, I did forget this node's down here. Aha, I knew I forgot something. Coursing Currents, I have that maxed out. This maxed out, this maxed out. Okay, so I am not missing any skill points. Good, I totally forgot. Look, I'm trying my best here. Anyways, this is the skill build. I will link it in the description as well. This is what I run and what I would consider a skeleton core build of the build itself. So here are the aspects and skill bar and stuff setup that I would recommend for LASH. The good thing about LASH is it doesn't need any of these aspects to function as a build. The aspects just help you, 1, do more damage, and 2, have a bunch of survivability. If I had to pick a specific aspect that I would say is one of the more beneficial aspects, it would probably be this one here, Stable Aspect. While Unstable Currents is not active, your shock skills have a % chance to trigger a free cast from it. This basically just lets you also do some damage when Unstable Currents is down, which will happen significantly often early on into the build, especially if you're just swapping over and you have very few good aspects and, you know, you're just kind of on welfare. As far as the other aspects go, it doesn't really matter what gear you put them on. Obviously, you can only put certain aspects on certain pieces of gear. So, like, Stable Aspect can go on your offhand rings. I would not put it on the Amulet, though. The Amulet, I would try to get Aspect of Control on. Reason being, you get an extra bonus for the aspect on your Amulet, and this is one of the best damage aspects in the game for our build. You deal 25 to 35% more damage to immobilized, stunned, or frozen enemies. I would say this is the other really good aspect that I would say is pretty... I mean, it's not required, but goddamn, it helps a ton. But I'll go through the rest of the aspects. Lucky hit chance increase when you have a barrier active. Basic skills grant 20% damage reduction for 6 seconds-ish. Well, 2 to 6 seconds, whatever. Deal increased damage while you have a barrier active. You gain armor for 4 seconds when you deal any form of damage, which is very good because our LASH is 24/7, so if we're hitting something, we're stacked up on armor. Very good aspect for survivability. Increased crowd control duration, and when enemies are unstoppable, you deal extra damage to them. So when they can't be crowd controlled, you deal more damage to them. I would say this is also a very good aspect to have, as it rounds out our damage. We're still not going to be doing as much damage as we would be if they were actually crowd controlled, but it still allows us to do damage even when we're not CCing them actively. Over here, we have this one that we went for. Put that on your amulet if you can. Aspect of Retribution. Distant enemies have a % chance to be stunned. That doesn't really matter. And then you deal 20 and 40% increased damage to stun enemies. Very good. Critical strikes with core skills increase your attack speed. Again, just a little bonus. We don't really have anything else to put on, and we do kind of use core skills based through our, Pew Pew, Arc Lash, Unstable Current procs. And then for the last one, basic skills gain attack speed as our final aspect. For gems, put on sapphires on your weapon, and just gives critical strike damage to CC'd enemies. Very good. You can also use emeralds if you want. I think sapphires are a bit better though. Put diamonds in your armor, gives you extra barrier generation. Very good. And for jewelry, I just put in diamonds because I'm lazy, but you can also put in specific gems for whatever element that you're missing resistance for, whatever it may be. Like I said, I stick in diamonds because I'm lazy. The skills you use are here: Arc Lash, Unstable Currents, Frost Nova, Ice Armor, Teleport, and Lightning Spear. For our enchantments, we want Arc Lash and Ball Lightning. You can also swap in Flame Shield if you so desire, if you're a bit of a hardcore gamer. I still probably would just keep it this, though. Both of these are pretty. Ball Lightning aspect is... enchantment is just nasty. Again, this will be in the description of the video if you want to take a look at it yourself. Alright, so for Paragon, I'm not going to go through the full Paragon board. I'm just going to go up to the first board and go to the board gate, because at that point I think you'll kind of get the idea behind sort of what we're trying to do here. But basically, we're going to path over here on the right because we get damage nodes and we like damage. Non-physical damage, very good. And then we got this juicy juicer, non-physical damage, intelligence. Now we have either life on both sides, so it doesn't matter. Take life, then more physical damage. I want to path up here to the empty glyph socket, and then in this glyph socket you are going to want to put control. Control is a very good glyph for Arc Lash. Reason being, you'll note for every 5 dexterity purchased within range, you deal 3% increased damage to crowd-controlled targets. And then if we hit the additional bonus, which we will, you deal more damage to basically CC'd enemies that are either slow, chilled, stunned, frozen. So you kind of see the point of this build. And then once you get the control glyph, you're going to want to go up here, path up to here, get all these damage nodes. You're going to want to take this dex node because it's in range. I'd take this node as well for the damage. And then you just kind of want to get every dexterity node in range of the glyph. So something like this. That's a dex node. And then you want to path up this way, like so. And then we made it to the gate. We take Enchantment Master. We rotate the board so it looks like this. And then I'll give you a quick overview to like level 60 Paragon. But after that, this is not a super comprehensive build. This is just a quick starter to get you guys into the game. I path over like this, up here. I take all the magic nodes around this. It's a fused resilience node. Just take them all. Magic nodes are generally very good for the point investment, so you should generally try to take all of them unless they really don't do anything for you. And then you just path over to the right here. Kind of like that. And then from here, I'm going up this way over here to this Elementalist node, and then I'm obviously going to take all the magic nodes like we just said, because magic nodes are good for the point investment. But this is further than I am currently in the game, Paragon-wise, so I'm going to leave it here. This is what I would recommend for a Paragon board. Pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, feel free to do whatever you like, though. This is just sort of a guide. Not necessarily you must do this or you are literal dog shit. And here at the end, this is going to be the end of the video, so thank you guys so much for watching. The rest of this video is just going to be B-roll footage of the rest of this Nightmare dungeon, just to show you guys how the build performs. I basically try to face tank as much as I possibly can just to show you how strong this build is. I face tank a bunch of the night monsters, which are something you shouldn't do. But thank you guys so much for watching the video. Again, like the video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, leave a comment down below letting me know if I missed anything or your thoughts on the build, because it's a lot of fun. And of course, remember to subscribe if you want to see daily ARPG gaming related content, sometimes multiple times a day, mostly focused on Lost Ark and Diablo 4 right now. Thank you to my YouTube members. As always, all my tier 2 YouTube members, which is going to be Blitzel, Remix My Life, I'm Nufu. Sorry, let me pull this up here. I can't remember off the top of my dome. Aerozyke and Peachy's Planet. Thank you guys so much. And all my tier 1s, Bits Biscuits, Inder, Diz, Clouded, Dangerous, and Joxini. Consider becoming a YouTube member, help support the channel and the stuff that I make. Trying to do this full time, smile. Alright, see you guys in the next one. Bye!